Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ESPN, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about the NBA as it concerns a recent update that just came in about the potential of players declining to go to Orlando, Florida, to participate with their respective teams to resume the NBA season. I just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about this particular report and what this does to possibly the Lakers and some other teams who are potentially going to compete for the playoffs once July either 30th or 31st rolls around, and just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about it. And without further ado, guys, let's get to it. So, guys, with this potential report, according to some of the sources that Bleacher Report has been getting when it comes down to all this, this particular report has been in the rumor mill for almost a couple of days now, maybe a week. But with this report, is actually what I've understood from this is that when it comes down to players who are going to participate with their teams in Orlando, who are qualified for the playoffs with those 22 teams that are in play for resuming the season, there has been a notion out there that there's some players who are not considering joining their team, participating with their team once July 31st or 30th rolls around for the potential return of the NBA, of resuming the season of 2019 and 2020 season. And with that being said, some players, when it's all said and done, they have until June 24th to notify their teams if they are going to participate with them in Orlando, Florida, for the potential return of the NBA. And me personally, guys, when I heard about this, there's a lot of emotions when it comes down to this particular decision for some particular players. Because as we all know this by now, certain players like Kyrie Irving, Dwight Howard, Avery Bradley, and multiple players have put out there that they are not going to consider returning to participate in the resuming of the NBA season once the June 30th or 31st comes around the corner for a potential return. And there's a lot of emotions about this. I mean, some who are Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard and Avery Bradley, they basically don't want to return is because of the racial injustice in this country, and or for those of you who are watching this in the United States. And you can make also the argument around the world as well because of the tragic death of George Floyd. And me personally, I'm glad that these players are putting a stand out there, that they want people to hear their voices. They want to hear their stance on racial injustice and stuff like that. I mean, all respected, I love how the players, and I hope more players still come out and just speak their minds and just protest against racial injustice in this country. And I just hope they keep this energy up. But at the same time, there are some players who don't really want to return is because of COVID-19. I mean, it's still out there, and the second cycle might come around possibly in July or maybe August. So it could potentially has been starting right now. But there is that sort of notion out there that there are some players who still have that idea that if the NBA does return, the possibility is kind of fearsome if somehow COVID-19 returns, or, like I said, with the whole, players standing up against racial injustice is in this country is just something that, some people want to put a stand and, make their voices heard, and which puts things into perspective of, certain teams, like I mentioned, and certain players like Dwight Howard and Avery Bradley, who obviously play for the Los Angeles Lakers in a kind of, interesting situation, because there is that sort of, guideline out there that the NBA is welcoming, teams, a potential adding on players to their roster. Instead of having 15, they are going to be welcoming possibly 16 or 17, total of rosters. Roster spots. They can either look at two-way contract players who play back and forth with the NBA and the G League, or they could potentially go and look at the free agency market of potential players who are still available. And that kind of brings to a kind of interesting perspective for the Lakers moving forward, because of the certain stands that have been put out there when it comes down to certain players like Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard situations. So, and me personally, if it does come that route, and hopefully, it's just rumors. Dwight Howard said that he might sit out, but the instance out there that he still wants to win a championship, and the Lakers have a better chance of doing so this season once the resume of the season sorry about that, the resume of the season does come back in any given moment, possibly in July 30th or 31st, somewhere around there. So but if it does potentially happen, there's a couple of players in mind that the Lakers might look at when it comes down to considering some players to be added on to have a total of 17 players on a roster. So far, guys, like I've been hearing from Lakers Nation and other reports, so far the Lakers are basically full when it comes down to having a full roster in their arsenal. So there's no potential players that could potentially that the Lakers can sign, because they're basically full. But with, like I said, the reports being that Dwight Howard and Avery Bradley could potentially sit out, the Lakers might look at some players who have a similar playing game of Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard. They could potentially look at some South Bay Lakers in the G League. There are also on a two-way contract, and there's other players in mind like J.R. Smith potentially, or a Boogie Cousins, who the Lakers have a very good interest in. Boogie Cousins, because of the recent events that happened before COVID-19 of releasing him and getting Markieff Morris. So it could be another reunion for the Lakers and Boogie Cousins, but basically we're not going to have the same Boogie Cousins that he once was. So but the reason to bring him in is because of center position wise, because of the whole Dwight Howard situation. So that could be an option. And then you can look at somebody like a Jamal Crawford, who even though he's in his 40s, it still remains to be seen if he has the ability to still play the game. He hasn't retired, and he's still a free agent. So still that possibility is still out there. And then there's another player in mind that the Lakers could consider when it comes to having a shooting guard who could play defense as well, similar to a Avery Bradley type of player, like possibly a Iman Shumpert, who is a free agent in this season. So obviously that's also an option as well. But at the end of the day, guys, when it's all said and done, these are just rumors. We are not really sure if the possibility once June 4th comes around for certain players to basically notify their teams who are going to be participating in the in Orlando for a potential playoff run once the NBA resuming of the season does roll around. So still remains to be seen about that, and you never know. It could be a possibility that maybe Dwight Howard might play, or maybe he will just choose to not make it a distraction of the Lakers and just decide to sit out and just stand for racial injustice. So it's just that sort of perspective out there, and still remains to be seen. So guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, and please give me your thoughts about this whole potential of group of players who could potentially not participate with their team in Orlando once the NBA season comes back, potentially on the 30th or the 31st. Still remains to be seen what certain dates that the NBA does return. And guys, if it does potentially happen, who do you think the Lakers should consider signing to replace certain players who are going to potentially sit out? I mean, is it possibly J.R. Smith, Boogie Cousins, maybe a Iman Shumpert, or maybe possibly a Jamal Crawford? Who do you guys think? Please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate every single one of you for showing me the love, support for my channel every single time you guys click on my videos, and just showing me the love, support every time I upload. Guys, just please make sure to hit that notification bell on my channel so you guys will know when I upload on my channel. And please just share my videos, comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys.